nation. The pain of the population contained in a concentration of a spell slot. I got 27 in the clip, missiles emitting from my fingertips like warships. That's a handgun, damn son, shooting from the hip. Only one using telekinesis to get a grip. Cantrips waiting to be cast off. Prismatic wall, make 'em all blast off. Cackling my ass off, incapacitating them with laughter. Yazzik ain't the caster you wanna go after.
I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon. Glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon. I'm a glass cannon.
Anyone wanting to interfere can get weird and witness your worst fears in a 30-foot sphere. I don't care if you're a barbarian or a cavalier. Kick it into high gear, let me make myself clear. The pioneer, I can make your peers disappear. Send them to the ethereal plane as if they were never here. Cheers roaring in my ears, dearly revered. I'm happy to domineer any volunteers. Sincerely out of control, top of the totem pole. My cone of cold is freezing them fire trolls whole. I got the strap, just looking to trap souls. I've been snapping my firebolt, leaving smoldering holes. It's incredibly difficult not to acknowledge me. I am a prodigy, you'll read about me in your mythology. No apologies, I'm impossible to demolish. Consider this admonishing, second guessing my polish, you bitch.
I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon. Glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon. My glass cannon. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon. Glass cannon.
The general strategy is to either destroy the enemy before being attacked, or to hide behind other, stronger ally units.
Who goes there? Why you dummies always coming in my lair like you want the smoke? All these wannabe heroes underprepared for the nightmare and despair that they dare to provoke. Most folk are doing their best to avoid me. Floor full of bones of the people that annoy me. Every now and then I get a couple of daredevils with the audacity to think that they can destroy me. Good luck with that, man. I got panoramic vision, meaning that I can see in any direction with precision. If it's your decision to attack, I suggest that you come back when your plans had a bit of revision to it. Notably, you should accept defeat. Consider this your last opportunity to retreat. Repeat, that was your last chance to survive. I hope that you enjoyed your time being alive.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
I am the tyrant, get it? I've actually been told that I'm a pretty funny guy. Wait a minute, what were we discussing? I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right, you were just about to die. How can I forget that? It's my favorite part. The only thing left to consider is where to start. In addition to magical abilities, I'm smart. I can make your demise as art. Anyway, it appears that the wizard in your party is a gnome who is worth about the same as if he would have stayed at home. I'll activate my anti-magic cone, and in a moment I'll turn him into stone. When the barbarian inevitably flies into rage, I'll disintegrate her with one of my eye rays. By the way, I haven't even begun to try. Fly by and take a bite of the fighter's thigh.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
While the fighter attempts to collect himself, he bleeds out on the space I dismembered him in. I wouldn't waste time telling me your names. I can guarantee that nobody's ever gonna remember them. Then again, you'll be on the list of my victims at the bottom of a column of other anonymous prey. You should take a minute to reflect on the day and the last words you'll ever say. Time's up. You're the lone survivor, the last one left. And halfling rogues are admittedly deft, but you broke into my home and you've stolen my time. I'm afraid I cannot allow theft. Throw you up into the air with my telekinesis. Finger of death to obliterate you into pieces, and that's that. Wink and a tip of the hat. That was good for my practice. Thanks for the chat.
colder.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and hello and welcome to World Tour by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 campaign set everywhere and anywhere, all of the time. Welcome to our final prologue. This prologue is entitled The Weight of the World. As a reminder, V5 is a mature storytelling game, and therefore viewer discretion is advised. I am your storyteller for this evening, Michelle C. Light, and we are going to introduce our fellow kindred for this evening.
Hello, my name is Maxine Baughman, and I'll be playing Elaris Isabel, the Banu Haqim.
To quote a passage from something I absolutely adore, everything that lives is designed to end. And for one kindred, Elaris, in the city of Paris, France, she is making her own way through the world. The streets are rambunctious with humans going about their nightly duties. But standing in the middle of Paris is a lone, old-style church. The brick seems to be faded with love and care. There are a few signs posted about the historical society that is responsible for the maintenance of this building. But there is a simple placard near a statue of a hooded figure with slender shoulders that with the hood almost turning into a cowl of sorts as it flows down the stone, with small children at their feet. And the placard simply reads, "The Children of the Saint." Now, Elaris, you had been given an invitation to attend this building. And as you can see, the door is wide open tonight. And faint candlelight can be seen through the open door.
I'm going to look outside at the night sky. Going to enjoy the stars in the sky. Going to look at the statue, for statues were made to be observed. When I approach the doors, going to put my hand upon it. And take a slow open of the door.
And with a loud, the door opens. Standing in front of an altar is a very similar hooded figure, speaking to someone who is dressed in very fine three-piece suit that is tailored to their body. You can't hear them from this distance, so you don't really get a gist of the conversation that is being held.
I am going to close the door behind me, but keep it the cracks that it was, as if nothing had happened to the door. And and take a few steps around the outside perimeter of the church.
Are you obfuscated in any way?
No, they have called me. They know I am coming.
And as you do, you see various depictions on the walls of kind actions towards others. All done by the same hooded figure, someone giving the poor food and wealth, someone providing water to those without the ability to get them. You could tell that the scenes are scorching deserts. And the hooded figure providing knowledge to children who don't have access to education. But while all these walls depict various scenes of kindness, they don't really depict much of who the hooded person is, or if they're even the same person.
I respect their discreetness. As I'm walking, you can hear the stiletto heel clicking.
Yeah.
Slowly. And I just take my hand and I put it along the pictures, as if to engulf myself in their stories.
The hooded figure raises their head as if they heard the sound of your heels echoing along the stone, the candlelight flickering in the air, not enough to cause a requirement for a frenzy, but enough to provide illumination. As the hooded figure looks at you, or at least you could guess they're looking at you, because it's really hard to figure out where someone's maintaining eye contact in a hood.
It is going to be a very odd to know our characters.
The person in the suit whispers something covering their mouth to the figure, and you see the figure place their hand on their heart almost mournfully before gesturing for you to come closer.
Take one more moment to look at the figure in the picture. And then I straighten my jacket and I fix my skirt a little, fluff it off, and walk very purposefully, but slow, to them. I am no threat. Not yet.
And the hooded figure's voice reaches you despite the distance. And it's very soft, very warm, very friendly. And the voice simply says, "Come closer, my child, for everyone is welcome within these walls."
She does go, but keeps about a pew length between, not this way, between her and the figure. Enough that both feel comfortable that's out of arm's reach.
The figure does lift up their hand. Their entire shoulder to arm is covered in this draping fabric, and their hands are even gloved. And they reach out their hand to you.
She does not reach out, but gives a courteous nod. Her arms stay clasped in front of her.
My child, I simply wish to see for myself who you are, for I am unable to see myself.
Who I am is of, I'm sure, little consequence to you as to me, but more what I am, and that you know I am sure of it.
I simply wish to confirm for myself what I have been told, that I am indeed joined by one of those who have suffered death once and have come back. So please, your hand if I may?
They will of good faith. I will put my hand out and very gently put it in theirs.
And you feel your entire sense filled with warmth, and it's a pleasant warmth. It is like sitting on the grass in a warm summer day. It is like you can smell the fresh spring air, despite the fact that it is a cold fall night in Paris. You can feel warm, almost like a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies right out of the oven. But as soon as this hooded figure takes away their hand, that feeling is gone from you.
Pauses for just a moment to, as she did the pictures, appreciate the gift of senses.
Appears you have come to me needing aid.
You have come to me for assistance.
It is believed that our requirements are mutual. My darling child. For all who walk in here are my beloved children. As such, I will provide for you that which you need. As a mother's love is unconditional.
And what is it that you require in return?
Are you asking what's troubling me?
If you wish to share, I merely inquire of information.
I lost a child of mine tonight. A child who lost themselves to one like you. A child who is very much beloved, but she is at peace now. I was told she died smiling, knowing that she was loved. I believe I know which one of yours was responsible for this. But I do not wish to trouble you with my problems, dear child.
If it were not for your troubles, I would not be here.
Very well. I will indulge you in my troubles, but know that I do not ask you to alleviate them for me, only if it is your such desire.
I will do what is fair and just. No more, no less.
You are indeed a bright star in the darkness, my beloved child. There is a system under Paris that is currently being monitored by one who is so lost and so troubled that even their form seems to take. I never wish to call any of the children of the world. I do not have the word for it, the heart to say it. But even their physical self is altered due to the state that they are in.
Someone's dead. I will say it for you. They exist. We exist.
Some passages believe that undead is a state of life that cannot be suited to live, that it is against the laws of nature and being itself. But I believe that there is redemption for some, those who do not give in to the horrible nature that they have been thrusted upon. So, I had sent one of my children who had asked to handle this problem for me, and because of it they have perished. I cannot help but take blame for it. And you almost see them turn away and start to tear up.
She doesn't move.
So please, find the one among you who killed my daughter. They are still within those sewers. And I shall grant you what it is that you desire. One of my sons had been able to previously, it's awful to think of, but previously had been able to capture one similar in your state. And was able to find the substance that is similar to blood, but isn't the same. For I sense a power in it, unlike humans. I will be able to provide you with this to help keep your hunger away, as I would any human who came to me asking for nourishment. In exchange for either the capturing or the killing of the one responsible. But this must be your own desire. I cannot influence you. For what mother would do that? So, and she offers her hand once again.
For the terms to return a child will bring redemption, bring satisfaction and justice, and the payment, a monster's blood for a monster. She takes a moment and takes a breath, or what semblance of a breath she has, and takes the hand. And instead of shaking it, she comes down and seals it with a kiss.
You feel that warmth course through you again. And she turns around to the person who is in the well-tailored suit. I can have my child drive you to the last known location to assist you. For what else can family do for each other but help each other during these trying times? And I do believe you are worth redemption. You are worth love.
There is only one who can judge my soul. But for now, I will need the name of your child that has been lost.
My dear, sweet darling. I actually wrote this down. My darling, sweet child, Sarah. Her body has already been brought here, for which we can provide a proper burial. It appears that her throat was ripped out from her. But in her last words, she called me, and I reassured her that when she meets those who are able to judge us, that her sacrifice would be worth. For those who are able to judge have granted me the ability to know things, even without my sight. Through my faith and my faith alone. Now go forth, Elaris. Go forth with your mother's blessing.
She gives a nod, and even though she knows that she cannot see, she knows there was a connection of sincerity.
The person in the well-tailored suit helps her go sit down over at the front of the altar before walking up to you. He has an earpiece in that goes around, and he simply says, "So it looks like I'll be taking you to one of the abandoned gazebos. There's a staircase system that leads down to the sewers and through a labyrinth of sorts."
Let us get started.
Very well then, ma'am. And he escorts you to this really nice looking vehicle. It completely clashes against the stone brick of the building and the stone roads. As the both of you leave, the door closes behind you. And he opens the back passenger door for you.
And very elegantly, as if basically royalty, I will unbutton the top button as you do when you sit, and I will slide into the seat, just keeping my hands upon. I have my satchel. I pull that upon my lap, and I place my hands upon it, and I sit still as death.
So
no reason to distrust me.
he gets into the front seat, turns on the ignition. There's some music playing. It's just some like slow rock music. It's nothing too loud, too boisterous. And He turns his head at some points to look at you. He's just like, now sometimes I don't understand what she sees in people, but you're her sister.
Some eyes are not physical. But I agree. I am what you see. I am a monster. Do not forget that, child.
You're probably like some 300-year-old. You know what? Not my place. So, I'm gonna keep the engine running topside for you. I can give you you're not one of the types that blow up technology, are you?
I might be. And you see just the tiniest little smirk.
Shit, I just got the new speakers.
Hope you have insurance. And she just turns over, opens the door, and slides out, closing the door.
He has this like a matching earpiece hanging outside the window, but it's like his arm's super far away from his car, as far away as he can be.
Gotta keep him on his toes.
It's so you can call me when you need me to turn on the engine.
She takes it. And you said it's like an earpiece?
Mm-hmm.
She takes it, and she does it very smoothly, but I don't know how long he's been in the business or not, but he can probably tell that she's not used to communicating with others this way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she puts it in smoothly, but like gets caught on her earring or something.
Do you need help with that?
No,
Okay.
we'll be fine.
I'll be here. I'll keep the engine idle, but let me know when you need me to book it.
There would probably be no booking it, as you say. It's not my, how you say, style. But it's good to know that you will be here.
You fucking undeads in your fucking style.
Yes. She kind of looks at him, and just for a moment, there's that tiny bit of attempted humanity. She just says, "It's all we have left," and she just turns and walks away.
You do hear a little bit of a laughter from inside the car as you leave. There's been a fight here. There's still some blood that hasn't been cleaned up. So you just drag your finger across it. You're not going to taste it or anything like that.
Not yet. I'm going to use all senses that I can to bring in.
Do you want to roll me a wits awareness for me?
Very much so. That would be 16. Oh, I'm very good at these. Do I do any hunger dice?
You are always at hunger 1 unless you kill someone, and your hunger will only increase if you have to make rouse checks. So right now you're at hunger 1 because you haven't murdered anyone recently.
4 successes and 2 has the stars.
So that would be a total of, so if 2 of them have stars, that's 4 successes.
1 has star.
1 has star. Okay.
2 successes, or sorry, looking at the onks and not the literally saying how many successes.
You've got this.
I got so excited with the star. Oh,
Dice are hard.
I have 4 successes.
4 successes.
Yes,
So
and one of them have a star. I don't know.
your only concern, it will tell if that particular dice roller, because we have an online dice roller that we are using for those who don't have physical dice. The online dice roller will tell you how many successes you have. It will automatically take criticals into effect. So just the number of successes is the number of successes.
So I do have a red onk. Is
That's
that
fine.
or will it
It'll tell you if you need to tell me something.
Okay, cool.
So just 4 successes. So with your 4 successes, you see that the stone has broken a little bit. It's almost like its claws too big to be like human claws. And spaced weirdly, so the joints must have been weird, have been like scraping against the ground. And the lights have any sort of like light bulb nearby had been blown out.
Blown or like blown?
Blown. Shattered glass.
Yeah. I would like to take. Can I tell the difference between the blood without tasting them? Is there a visible difference?
And
Dark
blood is blood is blood.
blood.
So it's not going to be possible for you to tell a difference unless you have an ability that lets you do so. Which I think taste of blood requires you to taste it.
Yes, which I do. I will do so.
Mhm.
And now after understanding the scene a little better, I will just take the little bit that was on my finger and try it.
Do you mind rolling a quick composure and resolve for me?
I would be glad to.
They're both attributes.
Okay.
It's akin to making a willpower roll, but without having to, but with the ability to spend a willpower.
4 successes and possible messy crit.
So, you have options. You can spend a point of willpower to try to break the messy crit. In a sense, you would re-roll that crit died and up to 2 more to try to break it so you don't messy crit. You can choose to fail the roll, or you can succeed at a cost.
I will fail. There's more information than just this, and I will lean my will for later.
So are you choosing to succeed at a cost?
Um,
Or failing?
I'll fail at this.
Okay. So the blood starts to taste like battery acid as a sensation that you've never felt before. Almost courses from your tongue to your throat, up to your sinuses. This is what true faith tastes like to a kindred. And because it's aged a bit, it's lost some of its oomph. It's sort of like when you like taste a lemon and you have that scratchy tongue feeling. It's scratchy tongue feeling.
Delightful. She takes some of that blood and a vial out of her pocket and scrapes some inside of it, puts the top on, and places it back inside of her bag.
I will note that you have obtained 1 vial of slightly time-lapsed truth faith blood.
What did you call that? Truth what?
True faith blood.
Okay.
Plus 1 vial of true faith blood. Yes, it will lose its oomph over time.
I do also note that I write the name on the outside of the vial. I keep it.
And as you do so, one thing you will notice, and I will give this to you because your wits and awareness is so high, having you roll for it would be pointless. This is way too mundane for your otherworldly keenness.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As you take a look around, you'll notice the streets in this area seem to be completely devoid of tourists. Normally, historical sites like this would have tourism involved, but there isn't any. It's completely devoid of any. You'll see that there are some sirens blocking off some of the roads. It's almost as if the way you came in was a way only known to the children of the saint, and that the police are aiding in making sure nobody else comes here.
I would like to take out a very small notebook. Very ornate, leather bound, but small. And sketch that information down. And put it back in my bag.
So, in front of you is the pathway down to the labyrinth underneath Paris. To your sides are roads leading to the police force that are blockading the area. And a little ways, but still in the barricade, is the fancy car with the gentleman who is waiting to be able to take you away whenever you need to.
Can he see me from where he is standing? Or sitting?
As far as you're aware, he seems distracted almost.
Like, is he around the corner or is he right there?
He's around the corner.
Okay. It's fine either way.
So he didn't see you doing any of this scooping.
What is he going to do otherwise? I'm paid for this. I would like to obfuscate. Disappear.
So I'm gonna double check, see whether or not your obfuscation requires a rouse check.
I believe so. If I'm not mistaken.
Obfuscation is on page 260.
I'm impressed that you know that information.
I have cheat sheets.
That? Yeah.
Cloak of Shadows is free. Silence of Death is free. Are you hoping to use Unseen Passage?
Yes.
Unseen Passage will require a rouse check.
Yes.
A rouse check is rolled by either using a D10 or a single die. A success means that you do not get hungrier, and a failure means your hunger will go up by 1. So if you want to roll just 1 die for me, please.
No hunger, just 1 die? Or yes?
1 die. Just 1. And just tell me whether or not it's a success or a failure.
0 success.
So you do get hungrier. As a voice that you had been trying to suppress rings in your ears. Oh, it appears that you are trying to escape who you are. But know that you will always be a monster. As long as we both shall live.
I am, and will always be a monster. I do not deny this. But self-control is a virtue that I will keep.
So you do vanish. And will be obfuscated. Where would you like to go?
Down the hall. Let us follow Alice, if you will.
And as you walk down, no, even your footsteps, which normally cling loudly against the stone, seem to be muffled a bit. As you expertly make your way down the stone steps, and beneath Paris you see this grand, vast labyrinth of tunnels and systems, some that are connected to sewer-like systems, others that seem to be traced with unique locks and mechanisms on doors. And as you reach the plateau of the staircase, there are many ways for you to go.
I look to the floor and see the blood continues.
The blood does not seem to continue, nor do the claws. It seems like the scene of the battle that took place up topside was exclusive to topside. The battle was quick, the battle was short, and it was precise.
She looks at the ground and she looks up. I respect that. And continues to look around. Is there dirt, any gravel upon the ground that may have been shuffled, ruffled, moved?
So
Or
as
a
you
door?
look around, you feel as if there's airflow, a specific way that the air itself seems to be flowing and traveling. And at some point you do start to hear the sounds of what appears to be little footsteps. Not too loud or heavy, but little footsteps.
She makes a little smile and walks towards it.
And eventually, rounding the corner a little bit, you keep hearing the footsteps and do keep following the sound.
Yes.
You keep following the sound and following the footsteps and following the airflow until eventually, was this labyrinth always as confusing as it's always been?
She would, every turn that she makes would take her, she has very long nails, and she would make a scratch.
You would start to see slash marks that you're pretty sure were yours. You would start to see things. It's almost as if everything is moving.
She was hoping this would be much more cut and dry.
You do eventually make it towards the end of the noise, and patting the ground with little paws is just a puppy.
In her head, she thinks, nothing is ever as it seems. And she just kind of, she can't look at her hand, but she like moves her nails onto her palm. And she does it seem to notice her?
The dog seems to smell the air a little bit and goes towards you. Because while obfuscate can hide your physical self, it can't hide smells.
Yes. She is going to look around to see if its master is at home or if it itself is the master.
There is no collar around the dog's neck. It looks a bit scrappy. It's got like a little bit of matted fur. It's got a little bit of a scent. Its ear is missing a little piece. It's just a scrappy dog.
She's going to kneel down to one knee, easily risable. Put one hand on her boot, where she keeps her boot knife, and the other she puts out to the dog, quietly, with no sound. She knows he knows that she is there.
The dog nuzzles against your hand a little bit.
She says in a whisper that sounds like the wind, possibly. Are you who I am looking for, little one?
The dog steps back, moves back a little bit, pads back a little bit, starts chasing around its own little tail a bit, and it's just like, and it points almost towards a hallway.
I see.
And then it's gonna move back towards not your not your knife boot, but your other boot, and it's gonna try to like bite at your little like pant. Is it a skirt or a pant leg?
It's a long skirt with a slit.
It's gonna try to bite at the skirt a little bit. Just go like.
Keeping her hand on the knife for a moment, she puts her hand around his ear, pulls up his chin. Stay innocent, child. And she'll stand up and follow.
And the dog does lead you a little bit through the labyrinth, and it occasionally will like circle around you. Sometimes it'll like nuzzle up against the exposed leg that you have.
She does take she does keep rations, human rations on her.
The dog doesn't seem to take any of them. And it continues trying to lead the way for you, further and further down into this labyrinth.
At one point, she does kneel back down again and give it scritches behind the ear. Says, "No, not that. Shh. From now on, all right, little one." She scritches it. "No barking, please."
Grrr.
And she pats his little head. "You are a good listener, small one."
And this scrappy little dog just continues to lead the way, taking you deeper and deeper and deeper into the labyrinth, as eventually you find yourself in a darkened room with what seems to be a rather large hole in the middle of it. It seems to be where this air's all leading to. And as you hear it sounds monstrous. The pit appears to have no bottom.
She,
As sorry, you go.
She takes in the little bit, and knowing that this is probably where he wants to lead her to, she comes back down to the dog and says, "You should probably not be here now, child. If you wish to follow me later, we will find each other. But for now, be safe and be well." She just kind of gives him scourges and kind of has him turn back around.
The dog takes a few steps, turns around, looks at you, pouts a little, and then goes and starts to take laps around the giant hole.
Mm-hmm. She smirks a little bit and rolls her eyes. "If you wish to continue, I will not stop you." And she walks up to the hole, keeping focus on around her.
Looking at this hole in what could be believed to be the heart of this labyrinth, it is pitch black darkness. Something that those who know of oblivion would know. It echoes, it moans. And I'm gonna need you to roll a quick wits awareness for me.
So wit and awareness, you said?
Mm-hmm. How many?
3 successes.
That is not enough. As suddenly you feel a push against your back as what appears to be an elderly old man with matted hair, an ear that's missing a piece, pushes you into the hole. And that's where we're going to take our break. We'll see you right after this.
I'm like a falling star, I burn alone. I've got a heart without a home. Underneath this empty sky, just waiting for a sign. And it seems to me that gravity has got its hold on me, but I'm about to break free. Mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Like a flare without a spark, a shadow wish into the dark. Far across the galaxy is where I dream to be. And it seems to me astrology has got its plans for me. I just gotta believe. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Oh, mothership, take me ship, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Oh, mother ship, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Falling star, I burn alone. Got a heart without a home.
A glass cannon is a character that can put out obscene damage very quickly, but is also incredibly frail.
I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, I'm a glass cannon.
If your objective is blatant confrontation, then you haters have greatly underestimated my station. I dominate with divination, I conquer with conjuration. I'm bonkers with evocation, I'm astonishing at abjuration. Patiently waiting for my invitation to help alleviate my already unbelievable reputation. No conversation, the brains of the operation, the pain of the population contained in a concentration of a spell slot. I got 27 in the clip, missiles submitting from my fingertips like warships. That's a handgun, damn son, shooting from the hip. Only one using telekinesis to get a grip. Cantrips waiting to be cast off. Prismatic wall, make 'em all blast off. Cackling my ass off, incapacitating them with laughter. Yazzik ain't the caster you wanna go after.
I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, I'm a glass cannon.
Anyone wanting to interfere can get weird and witness your worst fears in a 30-foot sphere. I don't care if you're a barbarian or a cavalier. Kick it into high gear, let me make myself clear. The pioneer, I can make your peers disappear. Send them to the ethereal plane as if they were never here. Cheers roaring in my ears, dearly revered. I'm happy to domineer any volunteers. Sincerely out of control, top of the totem pole. My cone of cold is freezing them fire trolls whole. I got the strap, just looking to trap souls. I've been snapping my firebolt, leaving smoldering holes. It's incredibly difficult not to acknowledge me. I am a prodigy, you'll read about me in your mythology. No apologies, I'm impossible to demolish. Consider this admonishing, second guessing my polish, you bitch.
I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, my glass cannon. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon.
The general strategy is to either destroy the enemy before being attacked, or to hide behind other, stronger ally units.
Who goes there? Why you dummies always coming in my lair like you want the smoke? All these wannabe heroes underprepared for the nightmare and despair that they dare to provoke. Most folk are doing their best to avoid me. Floor full of bones of the people that annoy me. Every now and then I get a couple of daredevils with the audacity to think that they can destroy me. Good luck with that, man. I got panoramic vision, meaning that I can see in any direction with precision. If it's your decision to attack, I suggest that you come back when your plans had a bit of revision to it. Notably, you should accept defeat. Consider this your last opportunity to retreat. Repeat, that was your last chance to survive. I hope that you enjoyed your time being alive.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
I am the tyrant, get it? I've actually been told that I'm a pretty funny guy. Wait a minute, what were we discussing? I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right, you were just about to die. How can I forget that? It's my favorite part. The only thing left to consider is where to start. In addition to magical abilities, I'm smart. I can make your demise art. Anyway, it appears that the wizard in your party is a gnome who was worth about the same as if he would have stayed at home. I'll activate my anti-magic cone, and in a moment I'll turn him into stone. When the barbarian inevitably flies into rage, I'll disintegrate her with one of my eye rays. By the way, I haven't even begun to try. Fly by and take a bite of the fighter's thigh.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
While the fighter attempts to collect himself, he bleeds out on the space I dismembered him in. I wouldn't waste time telling me your names. I can guarantee that nobody's ever gonna remember them. Then again, you'll be on the list of my victims at the bottom of a column of other anonymous prey. You should take a minute to reflect on the day and the last words you'll ever say. Time's up, you're the lone survivor, the last one left. And halfling rogues are admittedly deft, but you broke into my home and you've stolen my time. I'm afraid I cannot allow theft. Throw you up into the air with my telekinesis. Stinger of death to obliterate you into pieces, and that's that. Wink and a tip of the hat. That was good for my practice. Thanks for the chat.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
Some see me as a cynic. They come in for the base, but they stay for the acidic. I've been on that paper chase, keeping pace for a minute, and I'm aiming to appreciate the moment while I'm in it. Genesis a menace on the mic, so sinister. You might get some venom from the bites I administer. Winner from the start, superstar with the finisher. I got a decent heart, but I'm hardly a minister. A bardic apprentice, I'm innocent as a lamb. Worm like I'm Dennis, I don't dare to give a damn. Firm in the philosophy, I am who I am. I'm a carbon commodity, I need to be verified on the gram. Tightrope walking the id and the superego. Lifeboat liable to fire the torpedoes. Keeping to the credo, I'm free to achieve the dream, or at the very least I can release some of my steam. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. So we're supposed to be sophisticated. Then why is 67% of the population undereducated? Emotionally incapacitated. Historically opinionated characters end up assassinated. And that's okay with the people faking it day to day. Capitalizing on capitalism, it's pay to play. Waiting for data to make it fade away. Whether you admit it, we're witnessing biological decay of the human race. We're going to a new place. I really hope it comes soon. I don't do space, two-faced, trembling bass, running the rebel base. Outpacing enemies in the interface. In your face like a zygomatic arch. I got them in lockstep, meaning my melodramatic march is effective, albeit rather subjective. I encourage you to pursue a new perspective. Alignment is just a part of the process. And lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H-double-O-D. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Since the day I was born, I've been non-conforming. I put myself in a position to make a living performing. Haters should consider this a formal warning. I've been swarming on them like a storm, I'm global warming. I'm not the one, done been through too much madness. Mastered the wrath and the sadness. You would need an atlas to match where I'm at. The fat cat put a...
Welcome back to World Tour by Night, final prologue, The Weight of the World. Where we left our resident Banu Haqim, Elaris. Elaris was learning what gravity feels like, as suddenly losing footing and staring into the wrinkled eyes of an elderly Nosferatu. And as you feel the darkness start to swell and overwhelm you, you hear a calming voice coming from the side of your ear in which you have your earpiece. Fear not, my sweet child, for you have nothing to gaze upon which the abyss you are in. And you feel that warmth again, stemming from your tongue and the vial of blood in which you took, as the remnants of true faith have seemed to be protecting you at this point. But this will not last long. Soon you see eyes that seem monstrous and intangible almost, start looking at you. You hear whispers in languages that you do not understand. Some sound sweet and melodic, others sound harsh and guttural. The hole in which you are in is actually not very deep, but the darkness it contains is vast.
I would like to look to the sky and see if this is a place where a hole can be seen, or if I am completely encased.
You cannot see light above you, but you know for a fact that you haven't moved in any direction besides down. So if you were to find a way to get up, you would be able to escape this.
And I am here. I'm going to take a moment and just go out to the sides, as if I am unsure if I am staying down, like continuing down, but I want to make sure that my arms and my feet hit at the same time so that I do not slide, but stop. And if it is
Spider climb.
yes.
So as you start to make your way up, you feel the darkness sliding down your face, into your eyes, your nose. It keeps trying to entangle you. I'm gonna need you to make me a composure and occult roll for me.
Okay. That is not. It is if you roll 0 successes.
What's your red die?
A dot.
Okay, so it wasn't a bestial fail. But no, you start to feel a choking sensation as the darkness starts to. If you had to breathe, it would be difficult to breathe. But even though you don't have to breathe, it feels very uncomfortable as you continue to climb your way up and attempt to, your eyes start to feel a pressure on them, your ears start to feel pressure, your throat starts to feel pressure, your entire sense of self. I'm gonna need you to make me one more composure and let's do composure resolve.
Resolve. I like that a little better. 2 successes.
And as you continue to climb up and up and up, eventually you find yourself feeling the ledge of the thing, of the entrance. You find yourself feeling it. You pull yourself up, feeling the darkness almost erupt from your body as it slinks back down into its pit, almost being forced to regurgitate you. There is no dog. There is no old man. There is nothing but silence.
Just right myself, but make sure I'm a little frustrated that I've smudged the cuffs of my jacket. But even now that at home, it will have to go to the tailor. But
You will find that your like a bit of your clothing has actually been ripped by what seems to be claw marks.
fine. So be it. And I look around to see what I can find. Is it pitch black? Same place? Different?
You are in a different spot in the labyrinth. Your claw marks on the wall are nowhere to be found. But it is quiet. It is still.
A bittersweet. I'd like to obfuscate.
Very well. Roll me around, shake.
Which remind me
Single die.
Raz one. And Mercy. 1 success.
You don't get hungrier. And as you find yourself going into the unseen, you will have to find your way either back to where you came, or you will need to find your way out of the labyrinth.
I would like to look for dog footprints or fur of some sort. As I have been scratching the dog continuously down the hose.
Mm-hmm.
So his fur or his
You don't seem to find any. It seems like wherever you are is not connected to there.
do I oh, so I'm in a different place?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like see underneath. Or the upside down, as it were. Ish.
Wherever you manage to escape to is not the same hole or the same part of the labyrinth.
I'm going to reach in my bag and pull out the vial. See if it has any, if it has been drained of it.
It is completely clean.
There is no blood in it all.
There is no blood.
Fancy.
So I will remove 1 vial of diluted true faith. Not diluted, but time thing. The word for when something happens over a period of time, which makes it not as strong. I know how to.
Fancy. And then as I put it in, I go, thank you, my friend. Much appreciated.
And so, would you like to try ascending the labyrinth towards the surface? or descending the labyrinth in the hopes to find more?
I'm curious by nature and a monster by blood. I choose to descend and see what is in store.
As you descend, you start to find things that don't seem to make sense to be down here. Mirrors in which you see your reflection.
I am obfuscated. Do I still see your reflection?
Obfuscate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say you don't see. I'll say you don't see your reflection. I know that obfuscate's one of those weird abilities that you don't quite know what's going to happen. But for ruling on the field, you don't see yourself. But you would see yourself because you're not a sombra.
If I was not unseen passage, then I would have said yes.
Mhm.
But yes.
And as you make your way through, there are. Sorry, I my pen died, so I was trying to cross off my notes proper. As you descend, you see things that are out of place, things that seem off, corners of rocks that don't seem to make sense. The airflow changes directions depending on what room you're in. It seems like this place is connected to so many others in a way that would require further study to fully comprehend.
I'd like to take out my notebook, and as I turn corners, seems that last time the scratch marks did not work as well. I'm going to jot down every turn that I make.
And as you start creating a pseudo map, you find yourself seeing scratch marks again.
Such as I have created or I was following.
You're not sure.
Interesting. I will, at every spot where I see scratch marks, I will make 3 simple lines. Continue.
I'm going to want a quick wits and occult roll.
We say blood dice, I assume.
With the blood dice, yes.
1 success with possible bestial failure.
It's only a bestial fail if you have 0 successes and just the beast symbol. So you start to realize that this labyrinth is changing depending on what you're doing. And eventually, you realize you're back where you started, in the plateau from the Great Staircase.
She kind of looks to the opening to whence she came and mutters to herself, if only we had more time, dear friend. I will unlock more of your secrets.
You do hear an elderly man's voice. This place takes you where you need to go. It does not necessarily require you to stay.
And she whispers back to the chambers. And of you, good sir, is this your secret?
This labyrinth existed long before me, and will continue to exist long after I die. It will reveal its secrets to those who have great cause, and does not like long-term residents.
Listen to think about long-term residents. She thinks that if no long-term resident is to be here, since I goes to stand, her boy is not here for long, or has possibly already left.
I do not know what you have come here to search for, child of Hakim. But know that the visitors who were here are long gone. And that those who wish kindred harm have returned.
Here and now have returned, or will return again.
I wish I could provide you more answers. But it appears that our time here is short. What is your name?
She thinks about this question for a moment. A little smirk comes upon her face. I find it ironic to be here in this place with a name such as mine. You may call me Elaris.
Brilliant name indeed. Farewell, Elaris. And know that what you have found is a secret that must not be whispered.
She gives a little nod, and under the brim of her hat, she gives this little smirk, as in the back of her forethought, she thinks, secret I could take to my grave. I will leave you now to your biddings. I thank you for providing hospitality and not shedding blood this night.
You almost hear a chuckle as you depart. The labyrinth no longer fights you. And I'm going to ask you for one last. I will give you either intelligence and occult, or composure and awareness.
Composure and awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Training. 5 successes, 2 being with stars.
So that is a critical success. And it's at this point you realize something with this critical success. Something that has eluded most people who have visited this place. that this labyrinth is alive. That things that seemed out of place are akin to a human who wears mismatched clothes simply because they think they look cute. You realize that whatever is almost fueling and empowering this labyrinth is alive in the sense of having a conscience. Some people will argue that constructs could never truly be alive. But the wind you felt was like breathing. And things that seem out of place were always meant to be. And the changing and manipulation of oneself could be akin to the changing and manipulation of the walls, of the ground. And that whatever creeping, dark, abyssal thing was trying to consume you was akin to its mouth and stomach. Something exists far beyond the knowledge of a single kindred. And you leave with that. Back up to the surface
I
of
do.
Paris, France.
I do ask before I go. I start to ascend the stairs, and I stop and tilt my head back a moment, and still unseen passage. And who do I have the pleasure of calling my host?
There is silence. No response. You just hear a small dog barking, as if to wish you farewell.
I respect that. And she will turn and walk away.
And as you leave, the streets, little siren lights still going off, the cold stone. It's as if it is the normal world, that there is no living stone under Paris, that there is no Nosferatu dog guarding the labyrinth, that there is nothing besides you in the city. There is the small hum of an engine waiting for you, but it is almost like a complete switch from the dark, looming unknown to the known. What would you like to do from here?
I have my notebook. Yes. I also have a small. I want to call it a little writing kit, I say, but it's small to fit inside of my bag, and I take out a note and I write back to the hooded figured woman, and I write her a note saying, "This conundrum of esoterica is continuing. This is not a one-night stand, but we have leads. and I put an address for her to put her side of the bargain, should she send.
Mm-hmm.
Take I fold it, and I take my lighter, like a small, very small, like, big lighter, small one, and I put a seal upon it of my symbol, a North Star behind the crescent moon, or in front of a crescent moon. On it is no name
Mm-hmm.
on the front of it. And I take a headphone out and obfuscated. I put it on the hood of the car and I back off. Tapping on the window as I leave.
He hears the noise, almost like jolts, like. I'm not used to working the graveyard shift, so what do you? She's gone. And he sees the note in the earpiece, and he's like, oh. And he takes them, puts them in the front seat. And he just goes, yeah, send a letter to a blind woman. That's how this works. Send a letter to a blind woman. And he backs in his earpiece, is like, yeah, I think she's gone. Yeah, left an address. Yeah, got it. Mm-hmm. Rome, you say? Well, she's not here to get the message, but yeah, yes, mother. No, mother. Yes, mother. Maybe all walk in the meadows under footsteps, hand in hand with each other, towards the path of glorious radiant light. Yes, mother. And you see him just against the car, like back in the seat. Turns on the ignition. Drives away.
Right as he is like slumped in his chair, I want to take a $5 bill or something, slip it into the car seat, into his
You're trying to tip your driver?
but I put on it Rome got it.
He does, but he goes, fucking undead. And then he drives away. But with a destination in mind, is that where you want to go?
I'm going to stop by my home first.
Mm-hmm.
Take the empty vial. Open up a case. Place it inside. Close it. I will leave tomorrow night, but tonight, preparations for my trip to Rome.
And that is a lovely spot for us to end this prologue, our final prologue leading to episode 1, The Weight of the World. Thank you all so much for tuning in for this episode. I'm really excited to get into this, hit the ground running, get our entire coterie together for episode 1 of World Tour by Night. So I hope that you all will enjoy that. I have been your storyteller for this evening, Michelle C. Wright, and I really do hope that everyone had an amazing time this evening. Who was our kindred tonight?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Hi, everybody. My name is Maxine Baughman, and you can find me anywhere and everywhere under That Girl at That Place. except for Instagram, where I am Lady Skyburn. That's me. I do lots of things, all the things. Go find me and ask me questions. I love talking to people.
And that is it for this episode of World Tour by Night. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope I'll be able to see you all next time.
I'm like a falling star, I burn alone. I've got a heart without a home. Underneath this empty sky, just waiting for a sign. And it seems to me that gravity has got its hold on me, but I'm about to break free. Mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Like a flare without a spark, a shadow wish into the dark. Far across the galaxy is where I dream to be. And it seems to me astrology has got its place.